and welcome to Celtic Roots Radio, coming to you today from Downpatrick, Northern Ireland. Celtic, folk rock, Appalachian, bluegrass, Scottish, Irish, Breton, Cajun. If it's Celtic or roots music you like, you'll find it here on Celtic Roots Radio.
So farewell to your bricks and mortar, farewell to your dirty lies, farewell to your gangers and your gangplanks that are hell with your overtime. What a good ship ragamuffin is lying at the cave, or to take old Pat with a shovel on his back to the shores of Botany Bay. Hey! I'm on my way down to the cave where the good ship anchor lies. To command a gang of navvies I was told to engage. Thought I'd stop in for a drink before I go away, for to take a trip on that immigrant ship to the shores of Botany Bay. Oh, farewell to your bricks and mortar, farewell to your dirty lies, farewell to your gangers and your gangplanks that are hell with your overtime. The good ship ragamuffin is lying at the cave, for to take old Pat with a shovel on his back to the shores of Botany Bay. Hey! Down this morning, he says, Pat, you know what, if you don't get those navvies out, I'm afraid you'll have to go. So I asked him for my wages, demanded all my pay, and I told him straight I'm gonna immigrate to the shores of Botany Bay. Oh, farewell to your bricks and mortar, farewell to your dirty lies, farewell to your gangers and your gangplanks, so the hell with your overtime. The ship ragamuffin is lying at the cave, or to take old Pat with a shovel on his back to the shores of Botany Bay. Hey! Australia, I'll go and look for gold. Oh, there's plenty there for digging up, or so I've been told. Or else I'll go back to my trade. 100 bricks I'll lay, because I live for the 8-hour shifts on the shores of Botany Bay. Ah, farewell to your bricks and mortar, farewell to your dirty lies, farewell to your gangers and your gangplanks, so to hell with your overtime. The good ship ragamuffin is lying at the cave, or to take old Pat with a shovel on his back to the shores of Botany Bay.
Well, what about yous? Yous all keeping well? Welcome to the 74th Celtic Roots Radio Show. I'm Raymond McCullough from Downpatrick, County Down, with a dose of Celtic and roots music, plus a wee taste of crack. We started the show with The Shores of Botany Bay from a duo called The Langer's Ball in Minnesota, USA, from their album Ships Are Sailing. You know, our last but one show has now had more than 7,000 downloads and plays, so if you're enjoying the show, please share it on Facebook and Twitter, or even go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. We're nearly up to 50 reviews now in 14 countries. War Dog Girl from USA just gave us another 5-star review entitled Whiskey and Music. She says, missed listening to Irish music and I just found this podcast. So happy I did. Love the selection of the music and your accent. Keep up the great work. This music is best paired with whiskey. Sláinte mouth. Algora Magat, War Dog Girl, thank you for your kind comments. And if you email me, I'll send you a free MP3 of my single, Our Tír Seo Gine, Our Land, I Return. Go easy on the Uishkabacha now, won't you? If you prefer, you can leave your comments on the Celtic Roots Radio Facebook page and give it a like, or on my own page, Raymond McCullough Author, or you can email me directly, raymond@celticrootsradio.com. And if you'd like to contribute to the cost of the show, you can do that from our support page. And if you run out of podcasts, you can listen to our shoutcast station 24/7, music, crack from myself, and shows from other Celtic podcasters. We've recently had listeners from Germany, France and Spain, from Colombia, Brazil and Mexico, from Russia, Poland and Croatia, and from Serbia, Japan and Australia. Find it at celticrootsradio.fastcastforyou.com, or you can find the links on our radio page at celticrootsradio.com. We're listening to a tune called County Clare from a Northern Ireland compilation album, Looking Back to Look Forward.
They took Hank Williams to the moon. They took Hank Williams to the moon. Well, it seems to me, instead of World War III, they took Hank Williams to the moon. Elvis was a Cold War soldier boy. Elvis was a Cold War soldier boy. One dark American night he saw that Russian satellite. Elvis was a Cold War soldier boy. You better get it right, John Kennedy. You better get it right, John Kennedy. 'Cause if you get it wrong, they're gonna drop the atom bomb. You better get it right, John Kennedy. Yep. Jim Lovell, steely-eyed missile man. Jim Lovell, steely-eyed missile man. Well, they sent him all that way, still on Navy pay. Jim Lovell, steely-eyed missile man. They took Hank Williams to the moon. They took Hank Williams to the moon. Well, it seems to me, instead of World War III, they took Hank Williams to the moon.
10, 9, we have ignition sequence start. Engines on, 5, 4, 3, 2, all engines running. Launch commenced. Liftoff. We have
Some
liftoff.
great picking there. That was the late Bob Kennedy, another great artist from here in Northern Ireland, and a song called Cold War Country Blues from his album Howl On. Of course, Howl On is another one of those local expressions we use regularly, meaning wait. Howl on a wee minute, that's not the way of it at all. Nothing to do with shouting. The word for that would be gulder. She let such a gulder out of her you'd have thought she was being murdered, or perhaps gowl. That child is nothing but gowl. She's always whinging and gurning. Another way of putting it would be, you're a bit crabbit today, aren't you? Meaning tetchy, grumpy, awkward, or argumentative. You might also be described as a bit carnaptious, contrary. If you're a woman, you certainly wouldn't want to be labelled a targe, an angry, overbearing, difficult woman. She's a real targe, that one. If you're over fond of your food, you might be described as a right greedy gorb. Neither would you want to be known as sleekit, sly, underhand, deceitful. The poet Robbie Burns once described a mouse as a wee, sleekit, carring, timorous beastie. We've got a right few words to describe dirt, such as glar, stir, gunk and clabber, meaning I'm up to my armpits in muck. Glar has a sticky, porridge-like consistency. Stir is similar. You're making your dinner into a right stir, so you are. Clabber is any sort of dirt or mud. You can't make out your number plate for all the clabber on it. W.F. Marshall, known as the Bard of Tyrone, is well known for his poem Living in Drumlister. which begins, I'm living in Drumlister, hey, and I'm clabber to the knee. You can also use clabber as a verb. He was a wee bit cheeky to me, so I clabbered him one. Gunk is another word meaning grime, dirt or grease. I can't see for all the gunk in my eye. Gunk can also mean taken aback or disappointed. He took a queer gunk when he saw what had happened to his new car, or when he heard what it was going to cost, he was rightly gunked. We're listening to the band Slemish, again from Northern Ireland, from their album of the same name, and the tune Brian Boru's March.
Red is the rose in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that rolls from the Boyne. And my love is fairer than any. Come over the sea, my bonny English lad. Come over the sea to your darling. I'll choose the rose and you'll make the vow, and you'll swear to love me forever. And red is the rose in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that rolls from the Boyne. And my love is fairer than any. We were down by Killarney's green woods when we strayed. And the moon and the stars, they were shining. And the moon shone its rays down on your pretty face. And you swore to love me forever. Well, it ain't for the parting with your dear sister Kate. It ain't for the grief of your mother. It is all for the loss of my bonny English lad, that my heart now is breaking forever. And red is the rose in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that rolls from the Boyne. And my love is fairer than any.
That was A Different Thread from England, UK, and North Carolina, USA, and Red is the Rose from their album Some Distant Shore. And we're listening now to King Boru, also known as Brian Houston and Friends, again from here in Northern Ireland, and the Voyage of St. Columbanus from the album Anam, Cara.
Sea cutting the woods through flood of twinned horn rain, passes the keel and greased slips over sea, Heave, men, heave, and let resounding echo sound our heave. The wind raises blasts, wild rainstorms wreak their spite. But ready, strength of men ready, subdues it all. Heave, men, heave, and let resounding echoes sound our heave. The wind raises blasts, wild rainstorms wreak their spite. But ready strength of men subdues it all. Heave, men, and let resounding echo the sound of our heave. Melt away, and harsh tempest stills. Effort tames all, great toil is conqueror. Heave, men, heave, and let resounding echo sound our heave. Yourselves for happy things. You've suffered worse, and these too God shall end. Heave, men, heave, and let resounding echo sound our heave.
This is a band called AllDayNight and the tune Highlands from their album Open the Sky. We were out for a walk the other day and I noticed a sheep that wasn't too steady on its feet. We'd say it was just hirpling along. That reminded me of another great phrase, often used by my mother. Ach, you're a pochel, so you are. Meaning, you're making a pig's lug out of something, or you're just pochling about, footering about, instead of getting on with it. She would sometimes talk about putting up a bit of a hoarding, which was like a temporary fence blocking a hole in the hedge, or it could also be a big sign by the side of the road with advertising on it. She'd talk about having to get up at the Scraik at dawn every morning, Scraik meaning screech in this case, referring to the dawn chorus. I see that phrase Scraik at dawn is also used by local author Maurice Leach in his book The Eggman's Apprentice. The mother would talk about a wind that would clean corn, meaning a cold wind that would right through you. Or she would send me to heg away the sticks to light the fire, heg meaning to hack or chop. A similar word would be blatter. Give the door a good blatter there. We're quite good at inserting a th sound into words like butter, for instance. Clatter, meaning a collection of something. The mother kept a clatter of hens. The same word can also mean to hit something. He gave the knocker a right clatter, so he did. Another great word for the same thing is blarge. Don't knock, just blarge on in like. Or he gave a right blarge on the horn. It can also mean overindulgence. He had a right old blarge of drink on him last night. Another one is banter, meaning talk as in, but a wee bit of a banter. Of course, you wouldn't want to be known as a blether, someone who talks too much or who talks nonsense, as in, what are you blethering on about? You could also say, he's a bit of a gab, or she has the gift of the gab, that one. Creator is another great word meaning creature. Och, the poor creature doesn't hae the sense he was born with. We're listening to Katria from Central New York and Dark Night of the Soul from the album of the same name. And we're going to finish off with a lovely song from Kansas City, Missouri band The Elders, accompanied by various Celtic artists, and Right With the World, which is a tribute to the late Steve Phillips. Slán Bhaile, take it easy now.
When the river flows up to the mountain, when the crooked turn into the curled,
there'll be plenty too many for counting, my friend, when everything's right with the world.
when we ride off into the sunset, when the hero comes home with the girl, we'll be riding with queens in their long limousines, when everything's right with the world. Not a word will be spoken in anger, we will hold every loving cup high, we will look our own enemies straight in the eye, as we drink to you and I. When the presidents fold up and go home, when the flags of the battle are furled, oh, we'll tear down the temples of concrete and chrome, when everything's right with the world. When the arrows all fall away harmless, and the slings have already been hurled,
We'll unravel the road that we traveled from home, when everything's right with the world.
when the runner turns into a reason, and the ghosts of rebellion have swirled, we won't need any proof to follow the truth, when everything's right with the world. Not a word will be spoken in anger, we will hold every loving cup high, we will look our own enemies straight in the eye, as we drink to you and I. When everything's right with the world. When everything's right with the
Well, that's all we have time for on this show. Remember, you can find out more information about the artists and songs played on the show on our website at CelticRootsRadio.com. And if you're an independent artist and you'd like to hear your music played on this show, again, you'll find details on our website. That's CelticRootsRadio.com. Tune in again next week to Celtic Roots Radio. I'm Raymond McCullough, coming to you from Ireland. Slán agus Bhaile.